thing, fear of being cast out by within our peer group. Okay. Um, so that feeling of being cast out or fear of being cast out, it's similar to the FOMO kind of thing. It goes deep because we think we're very sophisticated and civilized, and in some ways we are. But then in another way, just like our nervous system is designed for the jungle, and we don't live in the jungle anymore. Similarly, our social groups, are you know we don't think we're tribal anymore, but we are. And we have tribal fears, and being cast out of the tribe is, you don't want to do that because you'll probably die. So if you start from that place of going, this is not an idle concern. This is not lightweight. Me feeling of like being cast out runs very deep. It runs into my marrow. So I'm not going to just try and talk myself out of it. But I can bring my attention to the facts of it, and reframe it a little bit. So when I say being cast out of my social group, what does that actually mean? Like what is, will I die? You have to kind of bring it down to that, which sounds ridiculous, of course. Will I die? If people unfriend me on Facebook, of course I won't die. But you kind of have to address it like as if you're talking to somebody who's in a tribe and doesn't get it. So you kind of go, well, okay, so if I was cast out of my social group, would I die? And you go, no, that's ridiculous. And no, have a good look at it now. Would I actually die? No, I don't think so. It would be awful. I'd feel terrible, but no, I don't know. I wouldn't die. So that's a start, right? Because if you sort of gloss over that bit, it will just keep throbbing away underneath. So that's important, okay? And then you can kind of go, okay, so like often with fears, sometimes it's very helpful to go to kind of get into what's the worst possible, where's the end of this fear? So it's like, oh, well, if I was cast out of my group, if you just leave it at that, it's just kind of this staticky fear that just stays there. So can be helpful to kind of go, okay, well, and then what would happen? Well, then I wouldn't have any friends. Okay, and then what would happen? Well, I'd be lonely. All right, and then what would happen? Just keep going all the way down, because often when you follow it down, there's not you get to a point where you go, okay, well, that's awful. I wouldn't like that. No friends, but it wouldn't kill me. Like it wouldn't. It's not as bad as the feeling of static up on the surface when I was like, oh, cast out of my social group. That's actually when I get right bored down into what that would actually mean. It's not as bad as it sort of felt up at the top. When I get bored down into it, yeah, it's not so bad. I'd survive. I'd get new friends. And if they threw me out of the group, maybe they're not so great friends anyway, that kind of thing. So it's important to go through that process, to sort of face it, look into it, and talk yourself through it. I think that's important, not to trivialize it. And then you can just kind of do what I was saying earlier of going, well, I'm just going to choose to think that that's not going to happen. That my group of friends are lovely. Of course they're lovely because they're my friends. And they're going to be, nice and supportive and understanding. And if I did get the virus, they'd understand and they'd know that I hadn't done anything and it would be all great. And we're all going to grow in love and kindness just because I've chosen to believe that. So that's what I would suggest for that.